What's up, y'all? It's Jammin' Sam, and today we're going to restore the boss battle music, or also known as Crisis of the Red and Green, from partner Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. This comes to us as a commission from one Inharmonic on Discord and YouTube. So, I have here the music sequence MIDI. I'm going to drag that in and go to MIDI out with Fruity LSD. And then I'm going to load the DLS file, which was given to me by VGM Trans. And I converted the thing. Okay, let's play this thing. Oh, it's not all playing. I think it's missing some. Oh, wait, I think I loaded the wrong thing. Yeah, that's right. It's this one. Okay. Now we load the proper DLS file. There we go. Nice. Okay. So, starting a bit early, so I think some people might not be pouring in here yet. Now, I'm first going to start with this, which is the string ensemble. Let me solo that. And there's more string ensembles here. Let's see. Oh, this is a piano. Oh, I think they're down here. Yep. So for this string ensemble, this uses the same, actually the same type of strings as Donkey Kong Country 3 GBA in the waterfall theme. So we'll just pull that from that project. Let's open Contact, and I'm gonna go to Donkey Kong Country 3 GBA. Oh, it's already loaded up, pretty much. That's this thing right here. Now, it does need more volume, so let's put it... Oh, not that much volume. Okay, that'll about do it. I think that's where we left it off first, actually. I don't want to overload the volume. So, look at what we have here. We have first an intro sort of strings, and then the strings sort of largely leave itself alone, I guess, because there's this, and we don't really have them again, to my knowledge. Nice. Okay, and then it repeats again in the end there. So, what I want to do is basically just take these two riffs. Oh, whoops, I forgot to mute that. Oh, did it switch? Maybe it changes. Ah, maybe it changed. Maybe the instruments change sometimes. That'll be interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna go find first empty and call this strings. And then we'll go here and paste this here. Nice. And I think we have a, like there should be a time marker here because you have the flam here and then the downbeat starts right here. So we're gonna need that. So for now, let's just move everything to remove that space. Okay. Okay, that's really quiet, so... yeah, let's just keep it. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That'll do. Now... let's go and grab the other pieces. Let's kind of jump ahead and grab these as well. But only these because the rest are, as we know, are brass sections. And so I do want to have separate string ensemble patches for this, because there are different pannings for each of them. I'll get to in a second. Okay, so we have 3 patches. Let's also put all of them at like the same volume, roughly. Okay, and then let's paste this here. Whoops. And let's put this to channel 2 and Alt-C to change. Okay, and then let's go and grab the other one. Copy that. Go to strings. And here. Okay. Basically what we have so far is just mostly C's and G's, which is just a power chord, you know, regular C power chord. So it's likely this piece is mostly in C, interestingly enough. Okay, so, and then we have this part here, which we will then remove the space for. If we go hold Control and then try to select, well, I'll just set the bar to be a snap. Snap to be a bar. Okay, and then Control Delete, and that deletes the space. So now we just have the strings bit. Oh, we have some tempo changes here. Okay. Nice, and this comes from the Roland String Sections disc. Originally, I think the game uses the Phantom X, Roland Phantom X, but there's a higher quality available in the strings disc, as is with most things. They're like the CD collection of Roland has higher quality stuff than what you're going to get on even something newer like the Phantom X. So, that sounds good, and then let's move on. Oh wait, no, we need our panning. So the first channel is panned 9% right, second channel is 22 left, and then the third is 20 right. So we want 9 right, 22 left, 23 is close enough, and then 20 right. Okay, so that should give us a nice spread. And then the panning doesn't really change, does it? Oh, it does change. Oh, it just changes to the same thing. What? Oh yeah, so it doesn't actually change, it just puts it like that in the beginning. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so this is a honky tonk piano, and it comes from the Roland Phantom X. But it comes from a GM bank, a General MIDI bank, which is not covered by the patches that are available, like the contact versions and sound font conversion. So I have to go about making it myself. But the cool thing is that the MIDI, the GM patches are just basically just use the regular banks and then they just reorganize them. Basically, a honky tonk piano is just sort of detuned piano. It means they just take two pianos and like spread them out a little. Welcome, Dabrogo. How do you know what instruments are used in the OG, and how do you find the higher quality version? So to know what instruments are in the OG, there's a video document called the newer video game sound source sheet, and it's Google spreadsheet online. You can find by search newer video game music sources. But they don't have everything, so if there's something they don't have, you have to kind of self, which is like hard. And you just have to search through everything. And to find higher quality versions, I basically just have all the CD collections, which you can find because they're discontinued. You can now find online on archive.org. Search 90 samples. But then you need something called Daemon Tools Lite, which is a free version of a software to mount them because they're really old discs. Then you need Contact 5 to read them. So it's a whole complicated process. Patches. Go and get the patches and save them and all that. Okay, so let's see. The piano track, I am using the warm piano. I didn't know which piano exactly it was, so I basically just took the piano patch that was the biggest size, that had the most megabytes in it, because that would be what I assume the most high quality, because they all sounded the same to me. Sounded like pretty much the same. I think they might have just been different settings. Like it's the same samples, but different settings on the patches, but the patch settings don't convert to sound font, so you ended up with just the same samples. But this one was the biggest size, so I think this would do it. Now, for this to create the what's it called, the honky tonk sound, you have to detune it. Means one way that you can do this is just take two instances of it, make both of them slightly different pitch. We'll do that. We'll clone it. We'll create a layer, which will allow us to play both at the same time. So you create a layer, then you go and select this here, select both of them, and you click Set Children. And this means that every time I trigger this, it'll trigger both of them. Now we just detune it by going to, I think I can go to Fine Tune, go to about 10 cents. Put this one 10 cents up and the other 10. A cent is basically like a hundredth of a, it's very small. So now, if I go to the layer, that's pretty much sounds like this. Yeah. Although it is a little bit too warm, but I can... One thing they might have done whenever they converted it to yes is like bring up the higher frequency. I think, because I tried this with like the other patches, and I think it's such sound pretty sound that way. But we can go and try to put this in a so let's just call this piano plus 10, minus 10. Call this piano plus. And then we'll go and this. I also want to put the orchestra in a track. Go to processing and then 2. Since we're using 1 for the original tracks, play the original. Start on 2 and call this. Okay. And then we'll send the piano to mixer track 3. We'll call this piano. From there, we will put an exciter on it. We'll distort specifically the higher frequency. That's this. And it's pretty distorted in the game. You can that up a lot. Also saturate it. Now we can really pump up. We can do this high frequency as well. Nice. That might be a little bit much on the exciter. Stick to 3. Now let's turn that down a bit because it's a little loud. And there's a like kind of a roll off in the volume. So put an envelope. Let's set the sustain to the middle. Do about needs to rest at a little higher. Let's turn the system up. Maybe we can get a little more decay on that. We can play around with the oh yeah, that sounds more right. Okay, so let's grab this. Copy it. Find first empty. That there. Remember, we can remove the beginning because that's just a flam from the drum. Or at least blocking me. Nice. And I want the velocities to be higher than that, so let me go. Nice. Okay, and this part is just a repeat of the last one. Okay, and since this is playing through a lot of the go and divot, so but I don't know how much space to give it before the drum. Let's switch. Actually, that doesn't sound as close as I thought. I might have to pick a different one. And here's another piano. Okay, so this is pretty much a piano the whole time, yes? Okay, so let's take that to piano and then... let me see. Yeah, I might have to choose a different... But, let me see. Because since I have this configured, I can just load up a different one. But I have to have my, Okay, so let's try... try this first one here. That one sounds a little better. Maybe it is 2D2 after all. Okay. I'm liking that a little bit. Down a bit. Maybe it is more. Oh yeah, that's... Let's call this Honky Tonk Piano. Let's just call it piano. Okay, let's call it piano upper since a different one. The others. Okay, so let's clone this to the bass piano. Let's go turn the... Yeah. Whoa, what happened here? Why did it create... Rated 4, actually. Okay, so let's call this piano lower. Okay, good. Now let's go here. Take this line. Let's see how it reads or not. So this one repeats once. Okay, and then you have an ending there. Interesting. I think I'll just take this piece. The rest, those. Okay, so here, this is yes, no. Let's call this piano 2. Our piano. And put that in. And then we'll make that, get that its own mixer track first. Call this piano lower. Give that saturation. And let's make the velocity higher. Okay. And let's give it some release because not that much. Nice. Lovely. Okay, and this is going to be 12% to the right, so let's try this. 12 right. Obey that? Okay, done. Nice. Okay. Let's go now to... Okay, we have our organ. Then that just repeats. Then we have a unique section. Just grab these. Those are the. So now let's go find first empty. Call it organ. For the organ, I got this from. This is from the sound canvas, but we are going to use one from the. I think it's Yeah, it's the um, keyboards of the 60s and 70s disc, highest quality. Okay, so we got that. And I think the downbeat here. They're obvious. So we'll send it to channel 4 and change. Oh wait, no, that's not the one. I was like, what's happening there? That's not the one. Let's see. Okay, so the one I want is on the actually. That was. So the one I want is. That would be. Okay, where did it go? Did I lose it somehow? There. Yep, it's gone. Okay, so let me find. Could this be related to the fan remake project? No, I'm not related to the project. This is a commission. Welcome, Carlanga Tops. Welcome, Nawabana. Let me try and find. Let me see if that's in my recycle bin. No, it's not. My computer just spontaneously. No, I had it there. Now it's gone. I have to go and get it again. That's gone. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go and get it again because my computer deleted it all. So let's see. If I go to drive and now I have to load up the disk again, and you guys won't be able to see. Basically, I'm going to grab it from. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Okay, so I've saved that. And now, refresh, it'll. Here we go. I just replaced that. Okay. There we go. Nice. Much better than the sound canvas. Loud. Turn it down. Let's remove the space here. Okay, and as you can see, we have a little 2 notes before the downbeat, so let's put a time marker here. Nice. Lovely. Oh wait, I know what it was. It's not that I didn't have it because I didn't Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. On Ruby and Sapphire, I used that one a lot. I suppose it's more efficient to have it on. Let's. I like to keep it files. Can rip it now. Lovely. Okay, and that should be pan to the right a little bit. Very loud in the beginning. I'd have to. There. Nice. Okay, so let's move on. Now the next thing is a marimba. And the marimba comes from the sample tank, which I have here. And so now we want to find our notes. Wow. Supposed to do a freeze on me? It almost did. So basically you just have that run every now and then. That's all it is just that one. But there's a flute layered in there. Call this marimba flute run. We'll put this here. Make it channel 1. Change because the marimba on. Let's go to, I think it's percussion. Doubt that. It is. Yeah, there it is. Ah, but why is there's supposed to be 2 layers of notes here? Why is there only... Yeah, don't do that. Let's Alt-C to change that. There we go, much better. Well, I kind of want that to be higher velocity. I think that has reverb on it. No, we don't want that. It's not that bad because I can barely hear that. Better to be clean. Nice. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Oh wait, there's another part here. I think I was grabbing it from the flute by accident. That's why it was... So there's this part. Nice. Okay, so let's copy that. /flute run. Put that at the next bar there. I think this is supposed to start. Let me Alt-C. But I don't know if that should be having its also to of envelope. Same amount. I wonder if there was release on that other one. Oh yeah, there's a lot of release on it. So we need release on that. Basically, you can just have it released for infinity. And I want this to be a little bit loud because Sample Tank is a very quiet VST. Nice. And I think there's a little bit of, supposed to be a little bit of attack on it as well. But is it all the way through? I don't, or is it just that one part? I think it is all the way through. So let's give it some attack. Okay, cool. And this is supposed to be panned 14% to the right, so let's go into Sample Tank and set the pan to be R. I think, but the thing is, like, it only goes up to 63. That means the scale has to be smaller. I think like pretty much like 8 or 9 or something. Okay, we can turn that down a little bit. Okay, and then the flute. Okay, so that's just this one thing. And this is from the Roland Phantom X, but I wasn't able to find an equivalent in the CDs. I found an almost equivalent, but it just sounds too... So, what I want to do now... Why is there... Oh yeah, because it's a contact pad. So there is the wait, no. Yeah, I just didn't. I think I just did. So I mean, this is the one that I have, but it doesn't, one that I have doesn't really sound right from the CDs, but I think it sounds similar, but not quite right. We can try it. So this will go to channel 5, I think. Versus. Yeah, it has too much of a chiff. Yeah. So we'll pretty much just use the X. It's attack flute. I don't know why this isn't drive, so I copy it. Okay, and then refresh the browser and it should drag it down there and then it should. Let's cut that and paste it to the flute. Oh, look, it's not even at the right octave. It does sound different. I don't know what's up with that. Be a regular. Oh yeah, I think I might have gotten the wrong intro. This is like the regular flute. I think this might be the standard called sound cam. So let's try using the one on Ruby and Sapphire. On Ruby and Sapphire with sound cam. Did that match? Yeah, it sounds like it. It might. Oh yeah, it just needs more. Let me see if there's like other also velocities. It needs more volume, really. Nice. Lovely. It has a little bit more like nasally. I'll have to check on that later. Make sure that's just perfectly the right one. Or I can do that now. I can try checking from the discs. And let me check the sheet as well. Buenas tardes, Gameric. Good to see you here. Let's see, I'm looking through the stuff on the sheet. And it says the attack flute is a boss battle. If either I have the wrong one because it's different from the or that one didn't sound. It sounded just like a regular flute, really. But I don't see any other flute listed here, so just go and look for whatever flute sounds more like it. Oops. Because this is like... Hack flute sounds even worse. That just sounds weird. This just sounds like a regular flute, really, so maybe we'll go and get our own flute. Sounds like the typical sort of Roland flute. So maybe it's... I can go and load the... Well, I'm gonna... Or am I gonna use this? So let's go and get the tip. I can find the tip. That. I'm gonna load up the Orchestral Wind CD. And then run Act 5 to try to find. Gotta find the typical... a jazz flute? No, that's not it. C flute. That sounds more like it. So this would be... No, it's not, but it's getting there. Try this. Oh, that sounds a little... Yeah, but when it gets up there, it doesn't sound... I have one. I think I have another. Oh, that one sounds... That one's a little rough, though. Why is it so That one sound good, except for the fact... Yeah, I don't think... Trying alto. I tried the vibrato ones, but they just... Or maybe it's just a regular flute Phantom. Oh, it's got to be more bombastic than that, right? It could be. It would be better to try flute. Try this Phantom X flute. Okay, that one sounds better. Yeah, that's much better. And that one's not listed on the sheet. That's like... Okay, so let's just get... Yeah, there you go. Nice, perfect. And I think it should have some... And that can be higher velocity. Nice. Okay, so let me remove that or whatever. Nice. Okay, let's move on to the next. We're saying the microphone just go down in quality. Maybe it has a glitch sometime. Welcome, Carlo Nassar. Oh, at first you said Buenos Trades. Oh, it auto-corrected to trades. Buenos Trades. Nice. Let's see what this is right here. We got another instrument. Oh, this is the brass. For the brass, we have it moving from G to F. Basically, that's all it's doing, it looks like. No variation whatsoever, so let's get 1 bar of each. Copy that and go to brass. Staccato. I think there's might be other brasses too. Let's just call this brass staccato for now. And so we will go to sample tank and add in the next slot. Go to brass. And in the sheet, it said it was something like fat brass, but I don't see this. I don't see that. And it turns out the equivalent of that was it, and it's exactly the same. I can tell it's the same. What that patch that I exactly the same. Oh yeah, it was brass of brass. Nice. I don't think it was. I think it was supposed to sustain, and it's not sustain. So I think that's the same. It sounded the same. I don't think it's hitting this. Thought it was that one, but I guess it's not sustaining at all. Oh, maybe it's this one. That's weird. It's just not sustaining. Maybe it was a different one. Ah, there it is. I just saw this one. I thought I was selecting this, but it's actually just a full brass section. Nice. Okay, so now we have the notes in our clipboard. There, and then do that. I know for a fact this is not the rhythm. FL Studio just likes to paste stuff in. So let's set this to channel 2 and Alt C. I think it's supposed to be long. Yeah, I think it's supposed to have a little bit of release on that. Let's give it some release. Nice, and it's definitely supposed to be louder. And not have reverb. Okay, cool. Okay, so the next channel is a tuba. And this comes from the sound canvas, I think. So instead of that, I've gotten it from solo brass disc. Five, and let's set up to volume. So notes here seem to be repeating quite a bit. So you have those 3 notes in the beginning. Let's select those. And let's continue by holding control and continuing to hold control down. Let's select this unique section. Section. This one's a little bit interesting. Take this. But then after that, it's another repeat. That first. This part is unique. Bar, really. I think. Yeah, this part is unique. Okay, and the rest is just. Let's copy that. Go to find first empty. Call this. Oh, wait, we can put that in brass. No. Put that in brass staccato. Since it technically is brass, it's just for brass. Or a different brass instrument. Oh, but then that one, it plays different stuff. Kind of a different. Call this tuba. Put this here, and then it starts like. So then we'll select channel 5 and Alt C. Okay, but it's too low. I think it has to be brighter. Probably needs to be a little. Always put this sort of volume in. Let's get some release on that. And I just need it to be a lot brighter. Let's put this in a minute. Also, I haven't been good about putting Orchestral. We'll put the tuba in its own mixer track and the organ as well. Then we'll set these like 5 and 6. Yeah, so this will be the tuba. And let's see. Next one will be the organ. For the tuba, just remove some of this bass here. Let's expect my snap to be a bar, so control delete. Okay, so that's good. So as you can see, this one's it's a lot brighter in the game. Let's go and brighten it up. First of all, let's put a saturation. Also then let's raise the EQ. Okay. Oh, it's because of the velocity, I think, that it just sounded darker too. That's better. Let's also put an exciter on that to make it even brighter. And that's going to be really loud, so let's turn it down. Since it's a bass, we basically want it to go to 6. Actually, I don't think we need it to have that much on it. I think those last parts. No, I don't think. This reminds me of the morning after eating a kebab. Nice. Welcome, DimG. Welcome, Inharmonic. Ah, Inharmonic is the commissioner. I'm here. I wasn't able to find. Yeah, I've been there. It's hard to fall asleep. That sucks. This is gonna be peak. Thank you, Darth Troller. Welcome. Okay, so let's see. Run you through the pieces we got so far. Got the strings, which now that I think about it, probably are a little too loud. Wait, why am I not using all 3 of them? Oh, because these are going into the wrong channel. So we select channel 3 and Alt-C. There we go. Much better. Okay, and this piano is a kind of a placeholder. I'm gonna do some more work on that. Because it doesn't sound great. It was the closest I could get for now. Okay, this organ sounds amazing. I'm gonna see if I can try to find that flute on the disc. Oh yeah, that marimba needs a mixer track, and I want to do stuff to that. I think 7 is the first free. Yes. So for this marimba, let's call this marimba, and we'll put an exciter on that. And then let's put a compressor, no, a chorus on that, because it's pretty mono. Let's set it to halfway. And let's also get an exciter on that. Because it just sounds kind of flat. Oh, but this effects chain will help with that. Nice. And this flute. Oh, this flute. Give it a mixer track. And let's saturate it. Let's also do press on it. I hope I hope I can find a better one in the disc. This one's like compile very well. Let's put an exciter on that as well. Nice. Okay, then we have our brass here. Put that into the next mixer track, which I think is 9. Oh, why is that happening? Going through the marimba thing. Oh, because I didn't change the out. Still going into... This one is fortunately easier than Contact. Contact just... This one makes it... Most VSTs just... Drag it. It goes... Let's call this brass. And let's give that saturation, because basically everything in this game is like noticeably saturated. So we can run the saturator pretty high. Let's also put an exciter on that. Nice. Lovely. The tuba is ready to go. Welcome, Psych. What made you do a new mix of Stickerbush Symphony? Well, over the years it became sounding different, and I thought, well, I could use another iteration. Because I also found some higher quality saxophone. I found some fidelity. Woo! Is the season for sneezing. So let's move on to our next thing. Is this thing, whatever this. More brass. Okay. Basically, it's a layer of the other one. And so that's going to throw a wrench in kind of everything that I did, like with all the repeats and stuff. So let's just take both of these lines, then I'm going to combine them together in the brass staccato. Let's see what we have to do to sort of... Oh, it's not even going to put this like that. Oh yeah, so this one's basically just alternating. Top one's basically just alternating, and then for the bottom one, let's just combine them both together. What we get. Okay, so Shift I to section. Line these up and then cut them into sample tank. Send that to channel C. Okay, so basically we have, and FL Studio misaligns my selection every time. So basically now we have more variations here. So we can remove this. This is a repeat. So is this. This one's unique. The rest of these are repeat. Wait a second. Looking at the way this changes, it was actually stated a little bit, but FL Studio still put it in the wrong. That much. Yeah, it's sort of like Balkan horn, because Balkan horn, ska horn, ska. That's what I. Let me check and make sure that it's really. Is there, because one of them seems like lopsided. Yeah, because there's one note here and that's off the Okay, so these are repetitions. Remove that with Control Delete. Okay, but this is not, because this is like a C power chord. This isn't. Okay, so that, and then repetition, and then after that it just okay. And that's like an ending. Okay, perfect. Now, this. Okay, so these are these are actually two different pans. So this one's panned to the basically center, and this one's 27% to the right. That means we need two of those patches. And one of them needs to be panned to the right. 27% to be exact. What is 20? Roughly 25. So what is roughly a quarter of a? Oh, probably about 15. Yeah. Let's just. This thing goes up to 63. Okay, and then we're going to send that to the same out in 4. Go here and basically say all goes to Alt C. Oh, the tempo change. Let's remove the reverb on the second patch. There we go. And let's put the volume up. But it's too loud now, so let's turn it down. Nice. Lovely. Okay. Now, go here. We have drums here. So pretty much, we don't have a lot. Let's see, we have some variations here. So first, these are most of the, a lot of these are going to be different patches. I'll take the bass drum, has an intro here and then just repeats itself. Let's find first empty and call this drums. For that, I have it's a concert bass drum patch from Roland. That's channel 6. That there. Select channel 6 and Alt-C to change, and is that the right note? No. Can't be. Ah, yes, it's 5. Let's Alt-X and scale the levels, and I want to make this highest velocity possible. And so the thing is here, we have this flam at the beginning, so we're going to need a time marker to signify the downbeat. Now everything is, so that everything can... Lovely, and this should peak at about 6, but right now it peaked. Well, it needs its own mixer track, first of all. Let's send that to 7 and 8. And then we'll map 7 and 8 to, what's the next channel, like 10? Yeah, there we go. Let's call this bass drum. Nice. So basically this is way too loud. The notes are doubling up at the beginning, but in the main beat we want them to peak at about 6. The only reason why it's doubling up is because it has full release, so it just releases each note and all the notes double up. But I hate this envelope that it puts on it automatically. So let's go to ADHSR, that on there, and then yeah, now it has just like a 1 second release. That's fine. Let's turn up the system. Okay, so it's still going loud, but I kind of want... We can do that for now. I might let the mastering take care of that. Okay, but that's good for now. Why does your voice have a background wind? Probably because I have a fan going on to keep my called computer cool, and disable that. Might make it easier. Okay, so let's go for the other drums, which are we have the sound canvas sort of orchestral air. There's one here. There's one hit here. Actually, I also forgot that there's another relation of bass drum. Actually, there's a couple of them. Here you have one bass drum missing. It stops. That's interesting. But let's grab that one. We'll also grab this one because it has the... But then there's a flam here. And then there's an ending here. Let's copy all that. Go control this. The studio always put stuff in the wrong. I also have to scale the level. I also have to change it by 6. Also have to delete. Okay, so basically we have unique bars with the snares where the snares like drop out for toms. And then one where the snares drop out for. Take this. That be basically we need 2 bars. And then there's an ending where there's stops. Copy all that. Snare drum, which was present stored in the B and Sapphire drive. Okay, so we have that here. Let's put this down. Put that at C5. So then we have the toms here. I just have to remove that. I think this is the point where the bass drum drops out. Yeah. But we don't even need that part. We don't need this extra bar here. Okay, and then here is where we'll have this. But FL Studio likes to put things in the wrong place. I'll have to. Now that everything's in the proper place, these are toms. They're from the sample tank. Make sure that this here. And so we'll go to sample tank. I think batch. Called stops. Okay. This pop small is going to be channel 4. Channel 4. So let's go and paste this here. We're going to set the Alt-C to change this to channel 4. Should be the right notes. No, it's not the right notes. We have to put this down, way down. This might be the 2 bottom toms, but I'm not sure. I can see. Yeah, I think it's the bottom tom. Nice. Lovely. Okay. And then after that, I think we have more fill-in snares. Here's this, yeah, there's like some... Nice. Okay, and then I think there's one, this is where the tom comes in and the snares drop out. Have one notes at the very end. You have one bar with another sort. Here's the one, it's the same here in the snare where the drop out. Here's a different section. Thing change. Ah, yeah, this is the part where the... Okay, and here's the... Okay, very good. We're going to need another section of... This is getting to be pretty complicated. I'd almost rather just take the line. I don't need it. But it's interesting the way it just dates all. Nice. Okay, so that there, up, down, down. Start this on. Okay, and then I think let's put this down for now. I think that this needs to take it, like, you need bar out of this. The thing is supposed to coincide with. Okay, and this part is you need like another section that will need. But this will drop out. Oh, there we go. How that works. This right here. This one. This one just. I think this one is kind of by itself. I think at this point it would be better to just take the whole thing. Find the very. Probably would. Take both of these lines. Go here first. Then snares there. Five. Four. Nice, it is. Let's put it here. Five. Then put the five. Okay. That's our full line. Now we just have to remove the repetition. Now we can clearly see where something repeats. Doesn't. So, I want to look at the snares. Snares are going to well indicate that. We have no variations there yet. Have one of these, bar of this, then we have the tom. So let's go and take that out of each. Then have another one without variation, but there's a snare variation. Not here. This, there it is, right? That part. Okay. Now after this, okay, this very have some bass drum. Here. I would almost rather just keep these the same because it's not really. Just keep that one line. This one has to go to channel 6. This we're gonna need to put to a higher velocity. Nice. And so since we have the drum line now, we can kind of use that as a basis to write some of the parts, like of the whole. So let's go add the time signature here because that's where the downbeat begins. Then we're going to add our strings. And then these strings happen later. Let's use the sequencer to try to see when everything. Let's make sure that the tracks are so we don't hear the original. I think here is where it happened. Yep. And they also happen at the end. Cool. Your voice is clipping in slightly. Noise gator. Okay. Makes sense. Now that we don't have the fan anymore. Okay, so now it should come through a little better. Yeah, looks like it's working. I noticed it looked like it was clipping, but I didn't know if it was clipping. Hey, what's up, Michael? Long time no see. Mike, welcome. Great work, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. How you doing? Let's see. So, we're going to be putting some more stuff in. So let's go for the piano, which starts at the same time as the strings. Oh wait, that's over here. Okay. Nice. Okay, and then we have this part again. Nice. And then that's it for the piano. Well, at least that part anyway. We have a bass piano. But it's going to take some sequencing. Let's see what we have here. Do we have it going from down to up to down and then it repeats? Like so. And that's pretty loud, so let's lower that a little bit. And I think I want some more length in this one. So it seems like maybe you can just do sustain all the way through. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I need that one where it's like... Okay, let's see. So I think it starts out with this part. Okay, so it plays one more time like that. And then you have... Ooh, saloon-esque. Yes, very much saloon. So in the saloons, they would play those honky-tonk pianos, which was probably because they didn't get it tuned off. They couldn't afford to have the piano tuned often enough, so a lot of times it would be out of tune, and it just became sort of a thing, I guess. Okay. So, I think there's this. So then we need the lower part. Oh, there's 3 bars of that. Ah, yes, I see. Then it goes back to this. Ah, yes, and then it goes into that one, that repetitive part again. This part. And then there's another variation where it's just like this, I think. Ah, yes, there it is. Ah, but that would be happening... Oh, I think this starts over here. Yeah. There we go. Oh, here we go. That's I remember that section. And then you just have this part repeating. Oh wait, no, it's got a... Okay, and then there's that other part again. This part right here. But now, why is it putting it out of order for me? FL Studio is always putting things where I don't want them. And out of my snap. Nice. Okay, so that's our bass piano part. The next part is the organ. That's some fun stuff. I like that organ. Okay, so we have that part, and then we have to make a cut here. And then somewhere we get the organ again. I think it's here. No, wait, it's probably here. No, it is there. Oh, that's a repeat of the first part that we have there. Okay, so the organ has to be quieter, and so does the piano. Now I would say the snare needs to have a mixer track. Let's call this snare. Give that a mixer track. Nice. So glad to see this game getting some love. Wish they remade it along with the others. Welcome, Rats VG. Okay, next is the marimba. Okay, and let's move this stuff down. Okay, and the runs, I remember they happen here. They would probably fit into here as well. And I think it happens again here. Okay, and then you have another run here. No, absolutely not. Ah, and then you have the marimba there. Okay. So let's insert one here at the top. Nice, and this is a bass, so let's move that down. Ah, wait, yeah, this has to go here. But I get the feeling that the marimba is off beat here. Yeah, somehow. Let's try to move that around a bit. I think that's not, neither of those are completely right. I'll have to check on that. But I don't know if that's right. So it kind of changes, it looks like. Why? Why does it... Looks like it got moved by accident. Yeah, I might have moved this by accident. Nice, okay, that's right. Nice. Okay, and so then we have our tuba here. Okay, and then we need to make a slice here. Okay, so for the tuba, we have this, and then you have that part going again. Okay, so let's move that part here out of the way. That might be the right place. Okay, you need another bar of that. Okay, and then you have that middle part again. Nice. Okay, and then that's the drums. Okay, now what else? We have the strings, which we already did. But these become extra brass parts after this. So we have this here. And that would be and 22% to the left. This one would be 20% to the right. So we need more brass parts. Because they're all like... they're together. So there's 3 going at once. And I think the other brass part drops out, or it keeps going. Yeah, it drops out. So that means we can use the first brass part for one of these. The first brass part is center, so we're going to have to use automation to change that. So let's use this one here as the first brass part. Okay, so this is going to be what, channel 2? I think so. Then channel 2 has the change because this one is going to be 22% left. So we have to use automation for that. So we're going to go into current project, generators, sample tank, channel 2 pan. Channel 2 pan is going to start out being, we're going to control I, and it's going to be, that's going to be center right there. But then when it comes to the thing here, okay, so that's going to be 22% left, basically 20%, so be like a fifth. The brass parts, that part is going to be at bar 9. So bar 9 for about 4 bars. Why is channel 2 pan gone? Oh, I think I painted it in the music sequence. So control I, and then for bar 9, it's going to be to the left a bit. Now 20% would be, let's see, we have 8 here. It'll be a fifth. So it'll be a little less than this. Because this is a fourth here, or a little more than this. This is a fourth right here. And then we go back up. Okay, now the third part is going to be its own thing, so we need an extra brass patch for that, because that's adding on to this. Oh, wait. It does go back to center. Okay, so it is, so we don't actually need that at all. We just need the other one to be 14% left. So, we're going to go to an empty slot. Go to brass. Go to full brass section. And then 14% left is basically going to be a lot less than that, because we're only using 63. Maybe 10 is good enough. And then we're going to paste those notes. Oh, I didn't copy them. Whoops. So let's copy this. Go to brass staccato. Paste that here. Move it to the correct timing, because FL Studio always ruins my timing. And what's the next channel here that the new patch went to? 5. Okay, so we select channel 5 and Alt C. And it's also got to go to the same out. Meanwhile, okay, so this has to go full volume. This has to go full volume and remove the reverb. The pop small, which is the toms, has to go to a new mixer track, which I don't even know what's the next one at this point. 12. So let's call these toms. And this is a bit too distorted now with the other ones in there. Let's turn that down. Okay, so the brass part, I'm gonna put this above the bass piano because it's kind of putting these tonally. Where in pitch, it's a rhythm. It's not a melody, so it's gonna go under the melodies, but over the basses. And so I want to know what part. I think it would be like this, where we do. Okay, yeah, it'd probably be like that. It's very ska-like with those brass. So, brass parts would basically be where after that section. Yeah, you have like this thing here where it's going to C and A. Whoops. Oh yeah, and then the bottom one just changes. Okay, so this is gonna have to get 2 more bars. Okay, so, and then I think this is this part again, yeah. And then you have this section here. Wait a second, no. No, I think this is, let's see. Something happens here. Okay, so that's that part again. Nice. Oh yeah, I have to fill in the gap here. Oh yeah, I need this part right here. Because the last part. I'm not sure about this part. So for this one, for this part, you have A sharp and G. Which I think would mean you have to go to this one right here. Here's where you have the this big part right here. Okay, and then this part would repeat here. And then this part is just this part again. Nice. Okay, perfect. Okay, and lastly we have a crash cymbal, so we'll be working on that. Now, the crash cymbal we can put into the playlist. So I found that from the Roland orchestral percussions disc. And this is going to go above the drums. So this, it has to be pitched up 2 semitones. Okay, so we need one there, one here. Okay, maybe it's not that much. Okay, maybe it is actually like regular tone. But this has to be much quieter. Okay, so there's a crash in that section. Nice. Another crash. Oh, an early crash. Oh, I forgot about the splash. Is that the same as the crash, or is that a different thing? I'm not sure. But if it is, I'll have to go, I'll just go and get it. I think it is different, actually. Yeah. But that's probably from the same disc. Okay, but there's another regular crash here. Nice. Okay. Now let's meet out the crashes. Do the crashes MIDI. Okay, now let's do some mixing on certain things. Whatever hasn't been mixed yet. Let's go through everything. Oh, the crash needs a mixer track. Okay, so let's call this crash. So the strings can get saturation. Not too much. Already pretty good as is. And let's add a reverb bus. Nice. Let's also get a exciter. Nice. And that's going to be too loud, I think. The strings can come down. Okay, and then the reverb bus is going to be, let's see, take this one and dock to the right. Let's give it a hall reverb since it's pretty orchestral. And then let's set it to about 10%. Give it a little bit of pre-delay. Put the strings in there. Let's say right click route to this track only. Nice. Makes it sound physical. Let's also give this the piano reverb. Okay, let's call this reverb. Nice. Okay, I like that. The bass one isn't going to get reverb, nor is the tuba. The tuba sounds good though. Good that it needs chorus a little bit. Let's turn it halfway and then slow it down. Nice. Now the organ. Okay, let's saturate that. Not too much. It's pretty good as is. I don't think we need to do a lot to that. Let's give that reverb though. Nice. Now the marimba is definitely going to get reverb. But why is the marimba not coming through? Oh yeah, there's the reverb. Now let's take out the saturation knob a little bit. Okay, that's good. I think I definitely want to EQ that a little bit. Let's remove some of that low end rumble down there. Let's give it some presence there. Hold on one moment there. Okay, that sounds much better now. And I think it should be a little quieter though. Okay, so the flute. Now flute definitely needs reverb. Otherwise, that's good, yeah. Brass can get reverb. But I think the reverb might be a little bit too much. Otherwise, good. And it's kind of static. It feels flat, this bass drum, so let's put a little chorus on that, a slow one. Yeah. There we go. That'll make it feel a little bit more varying. Now the snare feels a little bit the same. Let's get a chorus on that. Slow it down, turn it halfway. And also put a little saturation on it. It doesn't need an exciter because it's already like got so much highs. So let's get the toms. Let's check those out. Yeah, those can be. We're gonna put some saturation on that because in the game they're pretty. Yeah. And the snare can get some reverb too. Nice. So the tom can also get some more reverb. Crash can get reverb as well. The crash can get also saturation. Because the one in the game is pretty saturated. Yeah, and then we just turn it down because it's going to be really loud after that. Actually, maybe not. Yeah, maybe the volume was just fine before. There we go. Okay, let's start by the beginning. And And I think the bass drum can get in it. Oh yeah, the bass drum needs the saturation knob. Nice. This part's going to be the most saturated. Yeah, that's much better. Yes. Okay, now it's clipping pretty good, so let's put a Maximus on it. And we're gonna give it a little bit of leeway, where it just starts to softly clip. Now that crash might be a little bit heavy right there. So let's limit the mids to 3. That's good. And the bass is booming. Now the crash, let's turn that down. Nice. Now the highs, let's limit to 9. The highs are behaving. Nice. Nice. I'm digging it. And I'm not sure where this thing repeats, but I have a feeling it repeats right here. So let's make a slice here, and then let's control shift and select this, and then control B. Nice. Nice, I like this. Okay, and for an ending, let's see what we got. Not really much going for it. No, there's not really much place we can do a resolution because I think the piece is in C. Or F, actually. It's actually in F. Ah, but it's changing, it seems like. I think that run is just in C. Oh yeah, it's changing a lot, really. G minor, maybe. It's in G, I guess. Using the leading tone, occasionally. Or G Lydian. Well, I would say the easiest way to end this, or the most obvious way, is to do like a dun 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 dun, and then just end it like that. Yeah, just end it like that, I would say is the best way to do this. But then I'm also going to need the beginning for like MIDI for the tempo change, for the tempo movement. Let's select that. Control Shift, select. Whoops. Oh yeah, FL Studio likes to ruin my timing, like where I can't fix it without changing the snap, so. There you go. Yeah, so let's take this part out because we have to make room for the drums. Or we can make this one be more like the dominant, yeah. And then let's take this out because this is like ramping it up again. We don't want to do that. Nice. Let's fade out the crash. Nice, I dig that. That's cool. Okay, so we'll call that done. Okay, so that sounds great, and then I think tomorrow we'll come back with, we have another, this is a double commission. There's another song, there's Serious Trouble, that we're gonna do that tomorrow. And so while I'll get to fixing this, like there's some things that I want to look for, like I want to fix up, but I'm gonna do that on my own time, like the piano and the flute in particular. Well, really only those two. So, well, I guess that'll conclude for the stream for today. Thanks guys for coming to the stream, and this will be Jam and Sam signing off. Until next time. Cheers. We'll see y'all tomorrow actually. Take care and have a great day or night.